Such a happy family. At a family birthday party for a 3-year-old girl in a diner, they appear just like any close-knit family. Well, except for the pale-faced father looking up at me, my husband. Let's take a photo of the three of you. Come on, smile. I cheerfully snapped away with my DSLR camera, capturing my husband's awkward smile. Little did he know what would unfold next. My name is Olivia Tyler. I'm 33 years old and work as a writer and photographer for the editorial department of a local town magazine. I met my husband, Michael, through a friend, and we've been married for 5 years now. His parents are still alive, and a few years ago, my retired father-in-law started farming in his hometown. My husband seems to have a bit of an aversion to his stern-faced father, who raised him quite strictly. As a result, he rarely visits his parents' home. However, my in-laws have always been kind to me, and I genuinely love both them and my husband's hometown. So, even though we live about an hour away from my in-laws, I often drive there alone to help with the farming. Because I got along well with our relatives as well and they've treated me affectionately. But there was one issue that weighed on us. We were struggling to have children. Although our relatives and in-laws never said anything about it, my age was a concern. I wanted to show my in-laws their grandchild's face as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Michael wasn't very cooperative when it came to having kids. His demanding job kept him busy, and over the past 3 years, he had more overtime and business trips, leaving home frequently. Despite the limited chances, I persisted in trying to get pregnant. It was one of those days. Hey, Michael. It seems we didn't succeed this time either. As I expressed my disappointment, my husband replied nonchalantly.
I see.
Michael, don't you want a baby? I do. Please, will you go with me to a fertility clinic for treatment? Michael kept his eyes on his cell phone without much interest.
That's unnecessary. Besides, it's probably your fault anyway. Just handle the treatment on your own.
His blunt words hit me like a ton of bricks, leaving me in shock. Yet, at that moment, I couldn't find the right words to respond. Over the weekend, Michael claimed he had to work, leaving me alone to visit my in-laws and help with their farming. As I worked in the fields, I noticed neighborhood kids playing happily nearby. Their laughter reminded me of my conversation with Michael, and tears welled up uncontrollably.
Olivia, what's wrong?
My father-in-law asked with his imposing figure, while my caring mother-in-law leaned in to check my face. I confessed honestly, burdened by the inability to conceive.
Olivia, it's not your fault. As long as you and Michael live happily together, that's what matters.
Despite his sturdy build and stern demeanor, my father-in-law's voice held kindness. My mother-in-law also wiped away my tears, reassuring me not to blame myself. I felt truly blessed by my wonderful in-laws. However, over time, I began to feel suffocated in my life with Michael. Even when he was at home, he was always engrossed in his cell phone, rarely initiating conversations with me unless he needed something. To make matters worse, he started delegating all matters related to his parents and extended family entirely to me. One day, I approached Michael, who returned home late, during dinner with a concern. There will be a large-scale family gathering at Uncle's house soon. Won't we go together? But Michael maintained his usual brusque demeanor.
I can't go that day. I have work.
But it's a family gathering. Since you don't help with the farming, can't you at least show up for such occasions?
You're well liked by both relatives and my parents. You can handle it on your own, can't you?
But they're your parents and relatives, aren't they?
Enough. I've left it to you, haven't I?
Michael glared at me as he roughly placed his fork down.
What's wrong with you? Can't have kids, and now you don't even want to deal with my family? Aren't you ashamed?
But I just wanted us to go together. My voice was barely audible, but Michael, visibly irritated, began preparing to leave the house. Where are you going when you just got back?
Going out to eat. You can handle that tasteless food of yours.
Without looking back, Michael stormed out, leaving me alone, tears streaming down my face. From then on, the pain of being blamed for my infertility became unbearable. I wholeheartedly committed to fertility treatments. Since Michael adamantly refused to visit a fertility clinic, I pleaded with him to provide a sample for testing. Additionally, despite his habit of delegating household chores, he'd still find something to complain about. So, I strived to make our home a comfortable place for him, putting in every effort. One day, a package arrived at our home. I assumed it was something I had ordered online and opened it. To my surprise, inside was an unfamiliar, adorable doll meant for toddlers. It clearly wasn't mine. Had Michael bought this? Why would he need such a thing? That night, I apologized to Michael for opening the package without permission and asked why he had purchased the doll. His eyes briefly shifted, and he replied,
That's a gift for my boss's daughter.
Really? I didn't know. Michael snapped.
Well, it's her birthday soon. But seriously, why did you open it?
I'm sorry. Without waiting for my apology, Michael stormed off, still holding the doll's box, leaving me silently watching him go. A few days later, something significant happened. I had been out on a work assignment, and my return was delayed. Since Michael was supposedly away on a business trip overnight, I decided to grab dinner at a nearby casual restaurant. As I sat alone, perusing the menu, I noticed the waitstaff carrying a birthday cake with candles to a table in the back. The joyful voices of children accompanied the scene. I couldn't help but wonder if I'd ever experienced such celebrations with my own child someday. Smiling at the thought, I turned to look at the family celebrating. There, a small girl of about 3 years old and her parents were celebrating a child's birthday party. To my shock, I did a double take. The man sitting across from the child, beaming with happiness, was unmistakably my husband, Michael. Wait, why was he here? At that moment, everything became clear. His supposed overtime, weekend work, and business trips, all lies. Oblivious to my gaze, Michael handed a gift to the little girl.
Thank you, Daddy.
The girl exclaimed as she unwrapped the package, revealing the very same doll from before. Unable to bear it any longer, I seized the DSLR camera I had brought for work and walked over to their table. What a happy family! I greeted them with a smile. Michael's face froze when he looked up. The mother, seemingly unaware of the tension, smiled and explained.
It's our daughter's birthday today.
I seized the opportunity. I'm a photographer. Would you mind if I capture a photo of your lovely family?
Of course. We'd be thrilled to have a professional take our picture,
she said in a lively tone, leaning in closer to her child. Meanwhile, Michael sat there, his face drained of color. Is something wrong? Smile, I asked, maintaining my smile. He managed an awkward smile for the camera. I snapped multiple shots, freezing that moment forever. After that I exchanged email addresses with the mother, saying I would send the photos, and waved goodbye with its best wishes. Leaving the restaurant, my heart raced as I headed home. I immediately messaged Michael, but although he read it, there was no reply. Ultimately, he didn't return home that day. Having spent a sleepless night, I reluctantly made my way to the fertility clinic the next day. Despite my efforts to conceive with Michael, I wondered if it was even worth going to the clinic now. But then, I received some unexpected news. As soon as I left the clinic, I began preparing for my countermove. That night, Michael finally returned home. "You're home early today. Did everything come crashing down, prompting you to act so nonchalant?" He looked startled but quickly regained his composure.
Huh? What are you talking about? I just came to pick up my things for the next business trip.
"But you were celebrating a child's birthday at the restaurant yesterday."
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Frustrated, I thrust my phone screen toward him. "It's not just the photo I took yesterday. There's evidence here. Is this not you either?" It was the social media account of the child's mother, whom I had exchanged contact information with yesterday. When I searched her email address last night, I immediately found her account, filled with numerous photos of a seemingly happy family. The caption on yesterday's photo even read, "A gift from Daddy Michael for the doll." Confronted with this, Michael's expression finally revealed defeat.
Fine, I get it. You want me to admit it, right? Yes, it's me.
"You're cheating, having a child, and leading a double life, aren't you?"
Yeah, that's right. I have a cute daughter and a new partner. Unlike you, who can't have kids, I've got a younger, accomplished partner.
At that moment, the door to the adjacent room swung open with a loud creak. Michael's eyes widened like saucers. Standing there were my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and nearly 20 other relatives, all lined up like guardians.
Dad! Mom! And even Uncle! Why?
As Michael stammered, my father-in-law stepped forward purposefully, executing a perfect judo throw that sent my husband crashing to the floor with a resounding thud. My father-in-law, a former police officer and judo master, had taken matters into his own hands.
Ouch! What the hell, Dad?
As Michael tried to get up, my mother-in-law delivered a powerful slap without saying a word. The remaining relatives, including myself, watched with cold, disapproving eyes.
Olivia! Why are they here?
With tear-filled eyes, my husband shouted, and I looked down at him calmly. "I sent the birthday party photo to all our relatives, along with an explanation."
This!
He looked shocked but quickly turned defiantly toward my stern-faced in-laws, offering a humble apology.
Dad! Mom! Please calm down! Listen to me!
Fine, then speak.
Michael desperately tried to maintain his composure, gesturing dramatically and speaking rapidly, all while avoiding eye contact.
I didn't mean any harm. It just ended up like this. Everyone makes mistakes, right?
As my husband stumbled over his words, my father-in-law's voice dropped.
Is that all you have to say?
Dad and Mom, think about it. Who needs a wife who can't even have children? She's oddly well liked by you guys, and I've been continuing this relationship because I hate paying alimony.
Enough with your ridiculous excuses.
Once again, my father-in-law grabbed Michael's collar, attempting a throw. My husband shouted.
Hidden secret, you already have a grandchild. Aren't you happy? Why not get along with my new wife and daughter?
In response, my father-in-law executed another throw, pinning Michael to the ground.
Don't you dare say anything to Olivia. This idiot son of yours. Your pointless words aren't worth listening to.
Michael lay on his back, grimacing and coughing. Then, my father-in-law applied a finishing move, locking him down.
Dad! Stop it! It hurts!
Struggling to break free, Michael wriggled under my father-in-law's weight. I stood there, blocking his escape. Look at this adorable daughter and your new wife. Can you say the same thing now?
What?
Curious, my husband looked at me, and I handed him the paper with the test results I received from the fertility clinic earlier that day. His face drained of color.
Natural conception is extremely difficult. What's this? What does it mean?
Absolutely genuine, Michael. According to the test results, your body is unable to conceive.
That can't be true.
Is the child really yours? I wonder. It seems like a DNA test is necessary. A heavy silence hung in the room as my in-laws and relatives regarded my husband with a mix of pity and disgust. Then, comparing the test results to my face, my husband suddenly clung to my legs.
I was a fool to trust that woman. Olivia is the only one for me. Please, forgive me.
What are you saying?
I don't care about them anymore. Let's live together, just the two of us.
At that moment, something snapped inside me, and I shouted at the top of my lungs. Enough with your smooth talk. We're getting a divorce. I'll be claiming $20,000 for alimony due to your infidelity.
Don't say that. You're my wife.
Don't play games. You despicable jerk. Never show your face to me again. My father-in-law grabbed my husband by the collar, dragging him toward the front door. My mother-in-law apologized repeatedly to me, while other relatives offered kind words of encouragement. Afterward, Michael and I divorced. Urged by my father-in-law, Michael promptly paid the alimony. Interestingly, the DNA test revealed that he wasn't the biological father of the child, leading to his breakup with the other woman. Furthermore, the woman, aware of Michael's marital status during their affair, was demanded compensation. Her parents, unaware of the situation, were furious. They covered the alimony payment and took the woman and the grandchild back to their rural home under supervision. I'm relieved that the innocent child will be in a stable environment. As for Michael, my father-in-law forced him to quit his job, and he returned to his hometown. Currently, he works laboriously at a construction company run by relatives. My in-laws assured me they'd straighten him out. They apologized repeatedly and even gave me a substantial sum as compensation.
Live for your own happiness.
My mother-in-law encouraged me. Now, I live alone, working diligently, and I won't forget the kindness of my supportive in-laws and relatives.
How did you find this story? If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing to our channel. See you in the next video.